Hey guys, welcome to my third YouTube Q&A. So the questions for this Q&A, I am pulling from the comment section on my second Q&A. As well, I am pulling from the people who responded to my stories this past week on Instagram. Just before we start off this guy, I want to mention that I will be doing a fourth down the line. So if there's anything that hasn't been covered in the first, second, and now this one in the third, make sure to ask the questions for the next one in the comments below. Okay, cool, let's get into it. So the first question is, what is more important, skill or gear? Absolutely skill. So the next question is, how do you practice if you cannot get to your drum set? Well, I don't practice. I don't know. These days, I can always get to my kit right now. So to answer your question specifically for me, I just don't practice, and then I'll have a session the next day where I can make up for it or whatever it is. If there's something going on in real life that keeps me from getting to the kit that day, no problem. We just push it to the next day and rearrange the schedule. Now, that being said, there are very, very few times where I cannot get to my kit to practice for some reason. If I can't get to my acoustic because it's too early in the morning or too late at night and I'm worried about noise complaints, and I'm on my electric, my TD25KV. And if I'm not on the electric for some reason, maybe I'm traveling somewhere, I'm on vacation, I'm out on tour, I'm out in the studio with a band or whatever it is, then I spend a lot of time on my practice pads, going over new rudiments, refreshing myself on old rudiments. Something I used to do when I was a kid, specifically in grade school, and it would piss the hell out of my teachers at the time. I used to throw in my headphones and take out my iPhone, and I would open up my metronome app, set that to a tempo, and I would pick a random rudiment and start playing the rudiment for as long as I could on my feet, on the floor, in time to the metronome in my ears. So if you're ever waiting for the bus, you're bored somewhere, you want to get in some footwork, then you can easily pull out your metronome and learn a technical rudiment. Try not to just practice right, left, or double strokes, right, left. Try and make it something that's a bit more complicated, like a double stroke paradiddle. Something that's going to really work your brain trying to figure out how to tap that on the pavement wherever you are. So the next question is, who made you want to start drumming? Who was your biggest influence? I don't know if I've answered this question. I think I might have, but I'm going to answer it again. Why not? Who cares? My biggest influence was Trey Cool from Green Day. So when I was around the age of 9, I think, their record, American Idiot, had just dropped, and I absolutely fell in love with that record. It was a complete obsession. I had all the posters. I had everything Green Day. I had tons of Green Day merch, whatever, right? And then Bullet in a Bible, their live DVD came out, I think a year after they dropped American Idiot. I could be wrong on these dates. I was super young at the time, and I'm not looking this up for this video. It's just going off the top of my head. So if I'm wrong there, you can feel free to correct me. But I think it was a year after American Idiot, they dropped that live DVD. And when they dropped it, I was watching that guy on repeat every day, hours and hours of watching that video. I loved it. I knew at that time, that's what I wanted to do. I needed to be on stage. I loved watching Trey Cool, and I was very infatuated with him. And I was already playing the drums. I guess that kind of just led me into focusing on, taking up his role. Yeah, I guess Trey Cool. Next question. What is your favorite video game? Right now, I'm not sure. I haven't been playing a whole lot of games these days. The last couple months, I haven't really had a whole lot of time. I think what would my favorite video game be overall? If we're looking at most hours spent on a game, super easy. Definitely World of Warcraft. I've put far too many hours into that game. I started playing World of Warcraft when I was 10 years old, 9 years old, around then, and I've been playing consistently ever since. I do sort of take breaks here and there because my life these days is so hectic that I can't always sort of keep up with playing that game as much as I'd like to, but that would probably be my favorite. For PlayStation 4, I had a lot of fun with Destiny 2. I played Destiny 2 right up until Forsaken came out, and I just haven't gotten around to actually purchasing that expansion, so once that came out, I just never really bothered. Hopefully, I'm going to have some more free time over the Christmas holidays. I'd really like to try out Red Dead Redemption 2. I have yet to do that, so I'm definitely planning on grabbing that guy and playing through that. And I've been toying with the idea of running sort of a 3-4 hour a night stream on Twitch where I play some games with you guys. If you watch Twitch streams, and if you like that idea and you would absolutely come and check me out playing some games and build a bit of a community on Twitch along with this YouTube platform that we've got going, let me know in the comments below. We'll see what we can do about setting that up in the coming months here. Cool, so the next question is, how do you get your hair to look the way it does? What's funny too about this question is so many of you have asked it. It's super simple, I guess. Usually I'll wash my hair every Saturday. Once I get out of the shower, I will let it air dry. I don't blow dry it. Once it's air dried, then I will throw in a thick layer of styling wax so that it's very moldable. Then I sort of just mold it into whatever shape I want, whatever style I want. And then I take my hairspray and hairspray it all in place. I only do that once a week too, so most of the time my hair is just grease and product from days ago. So the next question is, do you mix drums for other people? And the answer is yeah, kind of. I write drums for lots of other people. I'm involved with several bands at the moment, and I'm always looking for new bands to get on board with and help through the studio process. So if you are a part of a band and you want me to get involved with your writing process, help you flesh out some songs, have me write the drum parts for you, you can hit me up at my business email. It is in the description below, and we can start discussing what you want, what you need, how I can help you. Feel free to contact me there, and yeah, we can go from there. So next question is, what is your favorite song to play on drums? This is really, really tough. I don't know I can say I have a favorite. I think when I ask myself this question, my head first goes to, I really enjoyed the covers I did off of All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. So the ones I liked the most off that record were, I loved doing Gravity. I really enjoyed playing Gravity. And the other one was Gone with the Wind. I really enjoyed Gone with the Wind. I think those would be my two favorite songs to play on drums. I found learning those songs so enjoyable, and actually playing them, they're just like, they're so well written. The structure is just so perfect. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed those two guys. So those would probably be my favorite two to play. The next question is, what is your favorite song ever in general? Just your favorite song. I have a few favorite songs. In metalcore, as a kid, my favorite song was Whispers I Hear You by All That Remains. And then for a while, my favorite song was A Prophecy by Ask Alexandria. It's so hard to pick one song, like one, what's your favorite song? Those two I liked a lot when I was younger. Those were tracks that I would have on repeat all the time. But yeah, I guess those two. So this next question is, do tempo changes in songs bother you? No, tempo changes in songs don't bother me at all. In fact, I really enjoy songs with tempo changes. When I write, I have a tendency to put tempo changes, far too many tempo changes in the stuff that I'm writing. Yeah, as long as the tempo change is executed properly, then usually they're really, really cool, really, really awesome. One of my favorite songs that I've ever covered with a lot of tempo changes was 570 by Motionless in White. It's also the highest viewed cover that I've ever done. So thank you all so much for that. And yeah, I really enjoyed learning that song, partly because of all the tempo changes in it. Only problem with tempo changes, the only tough part is when I first decide I'm gonna do the song and I lay it out inside Logic, and I have to go through and actually do the tempo map. That can be pretty challenging, especially if there's things like ramps, trying to figure out how the ramps are set up. So playing it, no. Actually mapping out, yeah, that can be a little tough at times. So the next question is, do you manually remove the drum parts from the songs that you cover? So the answer is no, I do not. All of the covers that I've uploaded to YouTube is me playing over the actual song. I just go to iTunes and I just download the song and I drop it in my DAW and I play over top of it. The reason why you oftentimes will not hear any of the drums underneath my drums is because I'm playing exactly what the drums underneath my actual drums are doing. So you don't hear things standing out. When I go and watch other artists on YouTube, something I'll notice from time to time, especially if they're not playing the song note for note, is that you can hear the songs in the track underneath their drums, and that's simply because what they're playing isn't exactly what the song's doing. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong way to really do this. I just make a point of learning the songs as note for note as possible. And if it is different, it is only because I've made it more complex for purposes of just entertaining you guys more. So I'll play everything that's already there, but then I'll add things on top of that. That way the drum mix that's actually in the song isn't standing out by itself because I'm covering it. As well, I've added in a couple like little things here and there just to add some spice or whatever it is. So next question is, how long have you been lifting? I don't remember anymore. I was very young. My parents had me working out with them at a super young age. I want to say I was like probably 6 or 7 when I started. We had like a kid set of dumbbells, and the first 3 things that I learned how to do were bench press, I learned curls, and skull crushers. So essentially I was doing chest, bicep, and tricep a couple times a week when I was pretty young, and then lots of cardio outside just as being a kid. Next question is, have you ever cracked a cymbal? I mentioned in one of the other Q&As the amount of cymbals I've been through. Yes, I crack my cymbals constantly. I just cracked a cymbal recently that I'm going to need to replace after cracking 2 before that. So yeah, I'm always cracking cymbals. So next question is, what is your favorite hardcore band? Oh, this is so tough because what do you mean by hardcore? I think I know what you mean by hardcore, so I'm going to go off of the bands that would fall into sort of my definition of hardcore. If this is not your definition of hardcore bands, I apologize, but I think Wage War, I guess, would be a hardcore band. I like them a lot. Fit for a King, I like them a lot. I like their new record a lot. Don't listen to as much hardcore as I do metalcore, but I do like those 2 bands. I'm trying to think of, is there any like hardcore bands that I've covered? I did a Counterparts cover at one point. Those guys are sick. They're from my area here in Ontario. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Wage War, if they're hardcore to you. So next question is, what made you want to play drums opposed to any other instrument? Good question. Pretty simple too. Drums is a contact sport. The other instruments aren't. I don't know. There's something about getting to pound the life out of a drum set. There's something in the physicality of all that I just love. I like getting to play an instrument and walking away soaked in sweat. Next question is, how much do you bench press? At the moment, I think I haven't done a max press in a while. I also have been taking too much time off lately with wrapping up my left arm. There's been quite a few sort of like back-to-back sessions the last couple months. So I find myself having to take weeks off a bunch, and it's gotten me into a smaller place for sure. So yeah, I'm definitely not as big as I'm definitely not hitting any of my maxes at the moment. My max in the past, like my best ever all time, was doing 260 on bench. Right now I'm probably closer to 220, 230, maybe on a good day kind of thing. So best ever all time, 260. Next question is, what age did you start learning double bass on drums? I started with a double pedal shortly after getting my drum set. I think it was in the first year I got the double pedal. So I guess I was around 11 years old. No, 10. I don't know. I'm totally butchering it. I have no idea. I was very young when I started, and then I was very young when I got the double kick involved. So I guess you could say like 9. It's been at least 10 years now. At least 10 years. Probably longer. So the next question is, what got you started on making drum covers for YouTube? So back in 2012, when I started my channel, I had met one of the artists that I was performing for at the time. I was still in high school, and this girl that I was performing for was still in high school as well. And her dad was sort of set up as her manager, and he had gotten the band before I joined on with her. He had gotten them set up for a live shoot at a venue, and the guy who did the actual shooting, recorded the video, he was a friend of mine, and he was shooting skate videos for YouTube. So he was going out with his buddies and yeah, shooting like skate footage and editing it together into whatever, like quick, like 30-minute edits of them just, doing tricks wherever. And I hit him up and I was like, yo, like, got this idea. I want to make drum covers for YouTube. And he's like, well, what do I have to do with that? I was like, well, right now, so the other guys that I had been watching on YouTube were Luke and Kobus. Those are the ones that I had been like checking out as far as other people who are doing this already. And I was like, okay, well, I have to do something different. So I hit this guy up and I was like, you're important to this because I want to do it on like a location. I want you to film and edit it for me, and I'll like pay you. I think I paid him like, I don't know, like $80 a video or something like that, like super cheap at the time. We would meet up after school. We would take my drum set out to different locations. I only did like 5 of these types of videos where I took my drum set to a location and he did all the shooting for me and he did all the editing for me. I only did it like 5 times until it got to the point where like it was so far in between. Like it would take months of like planning and trying to figure out a date that everybody can they can get off work or get off school or whatever it is and actually make it happen. So because of that, like I just realized that okay, I need to downsize this. It needs to be just me involved, and I need to sort of do the whole basement setup, which I eventually started doing. But that's how I got into it. I knew that I wanted to play in bands, and I needed some kind of resume that showed that like I can handle the songs that I know I can. So that was really the motivation for it. I needed to have something online that I could just have a link that I could share to people and be like, I know I'll come up for an audition or whatever it is, but here, check this out real quick beforehand. And I found that really, really helps. So if you're someone who is a guitar player, a bass player, a drummer, a vocalist, whatever it is, and you want to get involved with bands and you aren't sure how to get that going, start with YouTube. Start with these videos. Just have something that you can have as like a portfolio or a resume. That's essentially what I did. After my first couple of covers that I had posted back in 2012, I just took those links and I sent them out to like every single band near me that I could think of. And I was like, yo, like, do you need a drummer? Like, even the ones that I knew that had a drummer, like I just sent it to them anyways. I was like, do you need a drummer? Like, here's an email with like pictures of me and like a couple of links to the different drum covers that I'd done so far. Because like even the ones that had a drummer, who knows? Maybe things aren't going so well with that guy. Maybe he doesn't really care anymore and they're actually looking around and they just haven't announced that he's kicked out or something, or maybe whatever it is. Like, you don't really know. Just that's not what I would do. I just take that opportunity, like that risk, send it to every band that I could find that was near me. So I don't know. That's why I got involved with YouTube in the beginning, and now it's become so much more than just a resume for me. Now like it's my focus at the moment. So yeah. So the next question is, do you play hockey? I'm Canadian, but I do not give a rat's ass about hockey. No, I don't play hockey and I don't watch hockey. I don't really get into sports anymore. When I was younger, I played football, and because of that, I would watch a lot of football, a lot of NFL mostly. But as I've gotten older, yeah, I don't have the time anymore. I wish I did. My downtime is spent playing video games. So I watch esports, if anything. I watch more esports than I do real sports these days. So yeah. So that was it for all the questions that I have on my list for today. I know there's a lot of questions that have gone unanswered. I'm going to save those for the next video. Some of them I'm going to save. Some of them are going to be addressed in future videos, and I didn't want to bring them up here just to say, yeah, there's a video coming for this. That being said, most of the ones that I will be addressing in future videos are the ones that were related to diet and exercise, specific techniques, different things that I'm going to be doing tutorial videos on when it comes to my hands, my feet, my fills, as well as you guys have been asking for a very, very, very long time. What my workout routines look like. You guys have been asking for it, and I think it'll be something that's, you know, fun and exciting for me to do. So I'm going to give it a try when I have free time. I don't want any sort of fitness content get in the way of my music content for this channel. So because of that, I have been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But the second I get a free time here in the next coming weeks, I'm going to try and get up 1 or 2 sort of workout videos. So yeah, that's that. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If there's some questions that you have that I didn't answer in this or any of my previous Q&As, feel free to drop them in the comments section below, and I will include them in my 4th Q&A, which will be coming up in the next couple weeks. Thanks so much for checking this out. I'll see you guys very soon with something new.